Okay, not gonna lie, today was a lot bigger than I expected. I've been saying for a while that I think the 12-year anniversary will have a small teaser for the next main FNaF game. Man, the 12-year anniversary had more than that. So, let's get to it. We'll start from the start here. So, not gonna lie, this first post was while I was asleep. I actually already found out what this was definitively by the time I woke up. But this first post from Scott was about this real-life pizza, and if you like brighten image or edit the image in some way, you see a map. And there's also like an A in the bottom corner somewhere. Again, I was the... Oh, there it is, I see it. I'm not gonna lie, again, this was already solved by the time I woke up, so I don't exactly know how people found everything about this. But people basically connected it to a real-life mall, and that led to an actual proper reveal. So, later on, yeah, American Dream dropped this trailer, and I'll just play it for you guys. Now, information on this was scattered across various tweets and whatnot, but what I'll tell you right now, I'm just going to group it all in one place right now. This is a real-life Freddy Fazbear's pizza. That's what this is. They're making it real. Real animatronics, real arcade machines, and apparently even a survival horror experience you can do in real life while you're there. So, yeah, if you're in America, specifically New Jersey, then there is a mall that will have a actual Freddy Fazbear's pizza. So, or at least you will have that in 2027, which is just the coolest thing ever. Like, not gonna lie, I woke up and this was the only thing that was announced, and I just thought this was the anniversary reveal. The idea of Freddy's being real was just such a crazy thought to me that I really thought this was gonna be it. And I was honestly satisfied with it. Like, yeah, sure, I couldn't go to it myself, but even just the fact it exists is just such a crazy thing that I would have been satisfied with this alone. But it was definitely not this alone. So let's go on to SteelWool's tweet. You guys know how SteelWool have been vague posting these fun little engagement bait posts for a while? Well, they dropped another one, and this one is really interesting. Take a look at the character they shared here. Yeah, so it's Vanny. Now, this alone I would have talked about. Oh, they decided to share Vanny, that's cool. But, obviously, you probably saw it too. There is images hidden in glitches. Let's see if I can, yeah, there's one. This is image 1. This is image 2. And then they get a close-up on image 3. On the new version of Vanny for the next Five Nights at Freddy's game. And if we look at this third image, there is a 2 with security breaches font in the eye. Keep in mind, it is a solid color, not a gradient. So this is ruined. So this is not ruined. This is security breach specifically. This is Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach 2, announced officially by SteelWoolStudios. Actually, properly announced. No vague post teasers with just vaguely alluding to things, maybe. No going on an AIG hunt for something that's not even an official thing. Seriously, an actual first announcement teaser from SteelWool. This, sure, it is vague. It is still vague, don't get me wrong. But it is definitely Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach 2. This is what I'm considering the actual first proper announcement of the project on the 12-year anniversary. And I predicted this. This is the one thing I thought we would definitely see today. To be fair, I kind of claim we'll definitely see the news of the next FNaF game all the time, so maybe it doesn't really hold that much weight that I predicted that. But it made a lot of sense to me once I realized Security Breach was announced on the 5th anniversary, and Secret Mimic was announced on the 10th. So it made sense the next big mainline game would be now, since I felt like around now is when it would be announced, and all that stuff. I've talked about all that stuff in videos before, but yes, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach 2 is real, it's happening, and it's now finally started to be officially teased. Now, those glitches beforehand, I could show you them. Oh, whoops, I didn't actually mean to do that. I meant to go back to keeping this as the image. I would show you the glitch images, but I actually just put them together. So other people have done a better job than I have, but this is basically the what happens when you put the glitches together in a very basic way. It's not the best mashup. Other people have done way better, as I said. But, you know, this is the one I did. So this is the new Vanny design for Security Breach 2. So there is so much here to talk about. How does this new design of Vanny fit in? What's this character's lore? Is it the same as original Vanny? Is it a new Vanny? Is it, and then you've got the Security Breach 2, like, is it where is it fitting in the story? Like, this is not Cassie, right? Unless it's a big time skip in the future, like, is this a virtual character maybe? Is this a metaphorical thing? Is Cassie gonna be in the VR world being chased down by this, and then when it catches her, she becomes Vanny or something? There is so many ways you could take this design and the Security Breach 2 concept, and so many different ways you can interpret it. Not gonna lie, I am probably gonna do multiple videos in the future talking about what I think the next Five Freddy's game will do, various interpretations I have of this new reveal, and what I want the next game to do that we don't really have evidence for just yet. I'll probably do multiple videos on that, because all of my thoughts on the next Five Freddy's game, there's no way I can condense that into a short news video here. This is going to be its own video for sure, and probably multiple own videos, because I have just so much thoughts, so many things I want to talk about. I genuinely don't even know where to begin. I've even re-recorded this a few times, just because I kept throwing in theories in here and just kept going on big tangents like I'm doing right now. This isn't any better, but I do want to call out a few things, the most interesting thing to me. First off, this design of Vanny is edgier than the original. She's like blacked out. She's got more red on her, like the original Vanny was white with a blue bow tie. This one's black with a red bow tie. She's got a knife again. The fact that they've teased Security Breach 2 with a new Vanny makes me think that they're saying, oh, we didn't do Vanny well last time, we're doing a new Vanny now, we're doing a better Vanny this time, we're going to actually utilize her well this time. And also the fact that it's darker makes me think that, oh, we're going for less cutesy stuff this time, we're going to try and make this next one more intimidating, which is a good direction, but also, like, I'd be very surprised if it wasn't going to do that, to be fair. I feel like we could have figured that out without any teasers. If the next Five Freddy's game was somehow even less intimidating than Security Breach, that'd genuinely be an accomplishment. But anyway. Yeah, I think the darker design makes me think that they're going to try and take this more in a serious direction going forward this next game. Another interesting thing that stood out to me is that it is Security Breach 2. Now, keep in mind that Security Breach, so that Help Wanted and Help Wanted 2 were very, very similar. Help Wanted 2 is pretty much just more Help Wanted, so I think Security Breach will be the same. I don't think this is just going to be, oh, the name they give to the next free roam game, with no connection to Security Breach other than it's just the next game in the series. Because if it was just the next game in the series, then it'd have its own title. So the fact it's Security Breach 2 specifically means that not only is this going to be the next game, but also that it's going to be particularly Security Breach coded. Something about this next game is going to be extra Security Breachy. And that's interesting to me, because quite a few recent releases have felt like that. I've been considering Five Freddy's to be in its course corrective era right now. So Security Breach came out to like not very well reception, and then it got corrected with Ruin. Ruin came out and it kind of gave Security Breach this darker atmosphere, and also left the story off in a better space, so it kind of course corrected the direction of the game that way. Help Wanted 2 came out and did tried to make the Ruin and base experience 50-50, as well as did it in VR, because base Security Breach couldn't be in VR, so it kind of corrected that little issue, as well as did a few minor little elaborations, and a few extra little setups. Then Secret Mimic came out, and at the surface level, Secret Mimic does not feel like Security Breach, but the mechanics are dead-ass all from Security Breach. Like, the Dire Diver is an extension of the Faz Wrench, the Springlock suits are just an extension of the Glamrock Freddy mechanic. Like, I could go on and on, like, the hiding spots return, the distractions are similar, where you can press buttons on things, or in the original Security Breach you activated the rides. Like, they're the same mechanics, just done better. So Secret of the Mimic, on a surface level, it looks completely new. Mechanically, it's just improving on Security Breach's mechanics. So it is course-correcting the gameplay structure of that game. So that's why the fact that this next game is Security Breach 2 is so fascinating to me. because we've had 3 releases back to back that have all been about course correcting security breach, and then you follow it on with a game that's apparently so tied to security breach that it literally reuses the same title. Like, that's got to be very security breach coded if it's keeping the same title. It's got to be more than the gameplay, because Secret Mimic did that and it wasn't security breach 2. So something else about it's got to be very, very security breach coded. I've been assuming, like, the location. But then on the topic of, like, okay, well, it's security breach coded, like, on the topic of it's correcting security breach, I've got to question what it's exactly correcting, because the gameplay was already corrected in Secret Mimic. They already handled that type of gameplay better. They already did the story better, with they left it off better in a better spot in Ruin. They already did the atmosphere better in Ruin. Like, what's even left in that game to improve on that doesn't require just removing the game from existence entirely? What else in that game are they going to rehash and try to do better with? And obviously, right away, they reveal Vanny, right? Vanny's like the big obvious one in the room. They underutilized Vanny, they're going to utilize Vanny next time. And my thoughts there as an overall thing, I don't think it's just going to be Vanny. I think that they are probably going to do more with the lore of the game. Try to maybe flesh out just in general, just the general lore. Like, maybe do more with the blob, the amalgamation tangle, whatever the hell you want to call it. That thing's very, very unexplained. Maybe flesh out the arcade conspiracy. There's so many weird points in security which I'd love to see them flesh out. I think the big one for me is, like, Gregory's past. Because base security breach, the biggest lore things in base security were the therapy CDs about Vanessa and Gregory's past. And we did get Vanessa kinda used, not really, let's be real. But Gregory's story wasn't really there at all. Like, outside of the stuff in the therapy CDs, nothing about his story was fleshed out. We don't know how he got corrupted by Glitch Trap, we don't know how it ended. So I'm hoping that if they flesh out the lore of security breach, that we might get more Gregory stuff as well as Vanny stuff. Those are my thoughts, like Patient 46, Patient 71. New Vanny, new whatever stuff's going on with Gregory. But that's just my thoughts, I don't know, I'm just spitballing on ideas at this point. I'm just really curious, because if you have a streak of course correction for Security Breach, and then drop a Security Breach 2, I'm gonna assume Security Breach 2 is part of that course correction. That it's gonna be trying to do something that Security Breach did, but better. And ultimately, it's gonna reuse Security Breach's concept, in some capacity, in a stronger way than everything else we've gotten so far. So this game is not going to be a fully new thing that's just there. It's not going to be something super new. It's going to feel like Security Breach is rehashed, but just done better in some capacity, I think. The other important thing about the Security Breach 2 title is that these titles have meanings. Like, even with Help Wanted, the interesting thing about Help Wanted and Help Wanted 2 is that the double meanings actually stuck around. Help Wanted 1, the double meaning is, first off, a reference to the previous games, where Help Wanted was just there for Fazbear Entertainment to say, hey, we need employed people, we need to employ people. And so you're a new employee for whatever company is finishing the Fazbear virtual experience. But also, Glitch Trap needs your help because he's been split into pieces and needed to reassemble the tapes to bring him back. So it's both from Fazbear's perspective and Glitch Trap's perspective. Help Wanted 2 kept the exact same double meaning. You have been rehired by Fazbear Entertainment, so you're once again a new half of the company, and you once again piece Glitch Trap back together after he's been messed up. It's the same plot points. The title refers to the story of the game, the story and the premise of the game, and Help Wanted and Help Wanted 2 shared the title and by extension shared those plot points. So, I think it's only logical to assume that Security Breach 2 will be the same, that it will share a lot of similarities between Security Breach in terms of what the title implies as well, especially what the title implies, to be fair, because it's the title of the game, right? So Security Breach's double meaning was about how Gregory snuck in, or got stuck in overnight. He snuck past security because, there's no record of him, and he basically just snuck into the Pizzaplex. The other meaning of Security Breach, though, is that Vanessa is head of security, corrupted by Glitch Trap. The security of the Pizzaplex is compromised because Glitch Trap took over the head of security. So that's the double meaning, is referring to both Gregory sneaking in and Vanessa being corrupt. So Security Breach 2, again, is probably going to be the same thing. This is probably going to be about someone sneaking into the place, and the security is corrupt in some way. Especially tying into what I was just saying before, the big lore reveal was between 46 and 71, the patients, which were Gregory and Vanessa, and we just got a new Vanny. which I feel like, look, I don't want to say it's Vanessa because there's so many different interpretations of who this character is, but I could totally see it being, in some capacity, part of Vanessa's story still, to flesh that out more, to keep up the Screech double meaning. So that's kind of the direction my thought process goes in, is that these titles, that title is very, very important. I think that's the big reveal here. The design is cool, don't get me wrong, the design is cool, and it's cool that we've got a new Vanny, but the big piece of information for me, in my opinion, is the title. Like, it's so similar to Security Breach that it keeps the same title. And I feel like a lot of people are kind of shrugging past that, just going, oh, it's just called that because it's the next game in the timeline. If it wasn't going to be anything like Security Breach, it wouldn't have that as title. It'd have its own title. So, yeah, I think that's something a lot of FNaF fans have just been breezing past and not really paying attention to. So I really wanted to call attention to that while I was here. Now, there is one other reveal for today. So you probably thought, okay, well, Scott teased a while ago that there's a project being worked on that's a 2, not a 3. It's a sequel that's a 2 specifically. Clearly, that's Security Breach 2. So Sister Location 2, FNaF World 2, whatever other 2s are off the table because this is the 2 that came out. Well, MegaCatStudios was also announced a game today, and it wasn't Fetch. It was FNaF World 2, featuring the adventure animatronics, and it's really excruciatingly hard to see, but take my word for it, there is excruciatingly faint text down here that says FNaF World. So, yeah, not only did we get Security Breach 2 announced, but we also got FNaF World 2 announced as well. Now, not gonna lie, I don't have much to say about FNaF World 2 as I did Security Breach 2. Maybe I should have left Security Breach 2 to last, so that the theories at the end of the video. My mistake. My video formatting is not always the best. This is recorded in just a single take. Leave me alone. But FNaF World 2 is something I'm very excited for, and a lot of people are really, really excited for this. Now, there is one thing that I wish I could say more about it, because not gonna lie, I just don't really know what to talk about. That's like our one little gripe, is we just don't really have much to work with. I was hoping that the teaser image would have some new characters or something interesting going on to theorize on, but it kind of doesn't. It's just FNaF World 2 is revealed. It's not like the SteelWool teaser, where it was like, oh, Security Breach 2, where the title has a big meaning that could imply a lot of things, and they also give us Vanny. It's like, no, this just gives us characters we've seen before, and FNaF World didn't really have that crazy of a meaning in its title. Only really the mainline games get that treatment. So this was honestly a lot less information to work with. So as much as I'm excited for this and want to give it the attention it deserves, and give it the theorizing it deserves, quite frankly, I'm going to be honest, I just don't have enough to talk about yet. But I am excited for this project, and I'm excited for more news on this project, and I am really happy that MegaCatStudios are working on it. Now, it does probably mean that Fetch is put on the back burner. It was teased by Scott in an interview, and teased in the 3-star ending of Into the Pit, so they should be working on Fetch, but it seems like FNaF World 2 is taking priority, which I don't mind. I think having some different things to break up the book games would be a great way to make sure they're not oversaturating us with the book content. So I'm okay with that, I'm happy with that. Plus, I'm not going to lie, I think I want FNaF World 2 more than Fetch. I liked the original FNaF World, okay? I really did. Now, I do want to add a few things that are based on the commentaries that Scott has given about FNaF World 2. He said that he'd like to have... I actually forgot about this quote, but he actually did say that he wanted to have some other developers working on it. We now know that's MegaCat. He also said that he wanted to have artists working on it. I was really worried when he first said that, because I thought that meant the art was going to be done by Fizzy or Pinky. But this art looks really good, and it's going to be done by the team at MegaCatStudios, so it's their artists, which I am very happy about, and is definitely better than art by Pinky and Fizzy. Better than their art, that's for sure. But the other thing he brought up that's a little more, something that disappoints me a little bit, and I kind of hope he backtracks, so I really want to bring up in this video because I think it's very, very important, is that he regretted making the original FNaF World tied to the canon. There's a lot of canon connections in the original FNaF World, like the Happiest Day stuff, and he said he regretted doing that. So if he regretted making the first game canon, then not gonna lie, I don't feel confident that he'll make the second one canon. Because even though the first one was canon, he regretted it. So if he regretted it the first time, then why would he do it again? So as much as I want to talk about like theories, how this connect to the modern games, because there's definitely some interesting connections to the modern games. The modern games are doing FNaF World stuff all over the place. The Vanimar screams FNaF World connections. Like, there's also the whole arcade conspiracy stuff that's tying into video game plot points. which the Mimic is also tied to, like Moon.exe as well. There's so many Moon and AR World, sorry, Mimic and AR World connections that you could really use to make a really interesting FNaF World type game have very interesting lore connections. But I'm just not quite confident they're actually going to do that when Scott regretted doing those connections in the first game. So I hope they do cool connection in this one, I really do, but I am not confident in it. We'll see what happens. When we get more information on this game, I'm sure we'll find out when it comes out. But yeah, that for now, that's all I've got to say. I'm really excited for it, curious to see what they do with it. I'd also love to predict more stuff about the gameplay of the game, but quite frankly, I don't know. I don't know what MegaCat's going to do with this game. So, yeah, I don't really have many ideas. Yeah, I'd love to talk about this more, but I just don't have enough. So, yeah, those are the 3 big reveals. The real-life Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, which is absolutely insane on its own. The game teaser that I was expecting, which is still insane. And then on top of that, FNaF World 2, which I just... Look, I thought there was a FNaF World 2 in development. I just did not expect all 3 of these things to be on the same day. That's just so crazy to me. This was a good anniversary. Bro, just 12 years isn't even that big of a milestone at this point. Like, I would have expected the next big anniversary to be 15 years. To have 3 whole huge things announced on the 12-year anniversary, just crazy. So, yeah, in the future, I'm definitely going to talk more about this. I'm probably not going to talk about the other stuff until there's more teasers, but I have so many thoughts about the next mainline game that I am definitely going to do more on this. This fascinates me so much, and considering what we're going to learn about the other game, from other games, like that lead into this next game, we've got so much to work with that I have so much to say. I'll do other videos on that though. I don't want to bloat this video out more than I wanted to. It's already 20 minutes. That's long enough, I think. So let me know in the comments, which of these things are you most excited for? Are you most excited for Real Life Freddy's, Security Breach 2, or FNaF World 2? Honestly, it's a very difficult choice between the 2 games for me. Very, very difficult. Oh man, so I'm curious to see what you guys think, and yeah, I'll talk to you next time for whenever I talk about things that are related to the next game, because I'll definitely be talking about it. Or I already said that. I'm gonna stop dragging this out. I am excited. I'm happy with this anniversary. I will see you next time. I am so excited for these projects, and I'm so excited for this coming year for Five Nights at Freddy's. 2027, I think, will be a good one.